Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Standing for an elderly person. We're all familiar with the halacha, the mitzvah, b'pnei seva takum, that one is to stand for the elderly, and a number of questions on the details come up, such as, who is defined as an elderly individual? From what age? Does it go by looks? Does it go by if he has a cane? If he's fragile? Who does it apply to? Does it apply only to scholars, even to laymen, even to a rasha, even to a guy? And does it apply to all genders, male and female? Whether I see a male elderly person walking or a female elderly woman passing by, must I stand in her honor? So let's begin with the source and root of this halacha. It is stated in Shulchanaruch chapter 244 in Yeridei halacha 1 that it is a mitzvah to stand in front of the elderly while they are walking or standing near you. Within 4 amos there is a mitzvah to stand. Now, while this is the ruling in the Shulchan Aruch, we find a Talmudic debate between Rav Isi Bar Yehuda and the Chachamim regarding the status of this mitzvah. Everyone agrees that the wording of the Torah in the pasuk in Kedeshim is Mipnei Seva Takum. The question is, what is a seva? When it says get up for the seva, what does that mean? So everyone agrees it refers to a Torah scholar, someone who is old in his knowledge, wise, a person with advanced Torah scholarship. One must stand in his honor to respect the Torah that he has acquired and the divine presence that dwells within him as a result. However, does it also include the mitzvah to stand for an elderly person? Meaning, is there a biblical obligation to do so? And that is as well the intent of the verse. So this is under debate. The Tanakama, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, says no. There's no obligation to stand for an elderly person who is not a Torah scholar. And so is the implication of the opinion of a number of midrashim, geonim, rishonim, and paiskim. However, Rav Isi Bar Yehuda holds in Kedushin 32a that included in the mitzvah of Mipnei Seva Takum is the obligation to stand also for an elderly person, even if he's not a Torah scholar, even if he's a Zaken Ashmai, an ignoramus. And thus, in his opinion, and all those who follow his approach, which are a number of Rishonim, it would imply that it is a biblical command to stand for them. Practically, it is not clear from the Mechaber and from the Rambam and other sources that this obligation is biblical as rules of Isi Bar Yehuda. But nonetheless, as it is a clear ruling in Shulchan Aruch, it is a mitzvah and obligation to do so, irrelevant of if it has a biblical status or not. Now to the detailed questions. From what age? So the clear halacha written in Shulchan Aruch and the Mechaber in the above source is that an elderly person is defined in this regard as a person who has reached 70 years of age. So it has nothing to do with having a cane or looking fragile. If he's 70 years and up, you stand up. If he's not, you don't. Now obviously this doesn't mean you have to ask for identification every time an old person passes by to verify if you have to stand for him, but the Torah is referring to that a person should estimate based on what he sees. That a person can give a general estimation as to the age of an individual. This is all according to halacha. However, according to the Kabbalah of the Arizal, as recorded in the Birkei Yos of the Ben Ish Chai and others, one is to stand for a person who has reached 60 years of age. According to Kabbalah, an elderly person is from 60 and onwards, and so is followed by those who follow the rulings of Kabbalah. Must one stand up even for an elderly rasha? So the Mechaber rules in the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah rules in Shulchan Aruch, it's brought in the Beis Yosef, the Gois Maimonides, Mordechai, Rabbeinu Yerucham, and other Rishonim, that the mitzvah is only to stand for someone who's not a rasha. Meaning, even if he's an Amaretz, so long as he's not a rasha, you have an obligation to stand for him. However, one is defined as a rasha, there is no mitzvah to stand for such a person. The Ben Ish Chai defines such a rasha as one who does not wear tefillin or daven, and one is not obligated to stand in his honor. However, it's unclear if this applies even in the case the person is a tinik shenishba. Regarding if one must stand for an elderly guy, the Mechaber rules in 244.7 based on Kedushin 33a that one is not obligated to stand for him, although one should honor and respect him with words and give him a hand of support even to a Gentile elderly individual. The obligation to stand for an elderly individual applies even to a Talmud Chacham, However, the Shach explains that if he is a greater sage than the elderly man, then he's not obligated to fully stand up. It suffices for him to slightly get up to show him honor. Must an elderly man stand for another elderly man? The answer is no. He is not required to do so, and it suffices to simply show some form of respect. Our final question on this topic, what about women? Must a man stand up for an elderly woman, or does this only apply to men? So we find a debate amongst the poskim regarding this matter. Some poskim rule that just like you have to stand for an elderly man, you have to stand for an elderly woman. So if an elderly woman above 70, or according to Kabbalah above 60, passes by, you must stand up. So rules the Sefer Chassidim 578, Beis Yehuda Minchas Chinuch, based on the ruling of Rabbi Isi Bar Yehuda, and other poskim and achreinis manenu. However, there are sources who rule that one is not obligated to stand for a woman, it's only for a man. So rules the halachas ktanas, the Ben Ish Chai, as well in his Kuntras Seid Yesharim and Raf Poalim, that based on the Arizal and Shara mitzvahs, the mitzvah only applies for a man who is elderly and not for a woman.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.